The security situation in the country and other perspective as it does come on. Well, now we're joined by Professor Charles Dokubo, who is a research professor at Nigeria Institute of International Affairs. Thank you for coming on this morning, sir. Well, interestingly, of course, he also does have a lot of international perspective, because there are those who also did say when the attack happened at the UN office that internationalized the entire scenario. But you've been monitoring this development for some time. Do you have the fact that that scenario did happen, has that changed the mindset of the international community towards Nigeria negatively? Because only recently the UK did say, well, yes, we will come in and work with you, or this is a global partnership, they say. How does that affect anything?
The fact is that it has been a global, the fight against terror has been a global thing for a very long time, since after the Iraqi problem and the attack on 9/11. So it's been a global thing. Nigeria has been involved with the Trans-Saharan Terrorist Initiative sponsored by the United States Secretary of State and the Department of Foreign Affairs also. So it's not something new. For those of us in Nigeria, the problem was that, when we're talking about Boko Haram and all that, we're always talking about things that will happen internally, that internal structures, internal symbols being attacked. But for them to up it to the point of attacking the UN building, it gives a different dimension. In the past, a lot of people have said about the networking of terrorist organizations, with external connections and all that. But now it has come to play. The attack on the UN building was, in fact, for me, it was a defining moment for how we are going to view Nigerians will continue to view terrorist threat for a long time.
But did any of this pop up in the radar while you went about your research at any point in time? That, listen, at some point, you never know, given the nature of international terrorism.
You see, one thing we must bear in mind is that terrorism is not something that you can easily define and contain. The fact is that, why they are even faster than the state actors is the way they operate. They're always miles ahead of the state operatives. What you can find, in fact, they give you information about what they do. While state governments give you information after they've done something.
Okay.
So the link that they have with the external links, the external people, you might not see it on the radar. But because of the transnational nature of terrorism these days, you talk about Al-Shabaab, and then Al-Qaeda, Taliban, Nigerian Taliban. There's a group called Nigerian Taliban also. There are a lot of people in certain parts of the country that are endear themselves to these, I would say, religious linked terrorist organizations. But in the past, most Nigerians will tell you that we don't have anything about terrorism. We have about militants trying to express a particular opinion about what they want from the federal government. But this has taken a new dimension.
Well, anyway, everyone, they've converged on, New York for the 66th session of the UN General Assembly, and this talk about us getting a permanent seat there is still on. But, we'll get your reaction to all of that. But the collaborative effort, Chamberlain, they talk about how possibly can that work for us as a nation, being that some people are already criticizing that particular move, saying that how come that when we saw that 26th August bomb blast in the UN building, we're not talking about having some other people come from the United States of America and other places. Is it a bad arrangement?
No, I think those who say that, they don't even know how it has been. It has been on for a very long time. Our government have been working hand in gloves with the United States and other Western governments in terms of the fight against terrorism. So it's not something new. The fact that they've not come out to the open to discuss it, in the sense that they'll come to Nigeria work, that's why people are worried about. We've heard about AFRICOM and Nigeria's initiative about how to contain, or do we work together with them and all that. It's been there for a long time. And then we also understand that if you look at the security environment in which Nigeria is, on our own, can we handle it? Is it better to partner with other organizations? And especially a country like the United States of America, sometimes there are places we have mutual interest. They need our oil. We need also rent from oil.
And do you think experience counts here? Like, knowing full that the United States has been on this fight way before Nigeria, so we can count on their experience?
They might have experience, but terrorist organizations are not something that are stable, that you say you've studied them and you've known them all. They always mutate into something different. You can't know. In the past, you can have a terrorist organization planting a bomb, fabricating a bomb here, transporting it to other places, exploding it in a different country. Now you can see with the development of homeland security in the United States and infrastructural security that have been developed, it is not even easy for you to track them. You have homegrown and home-spawn terrorists that have taken up places that where you have multi-linked organizations carrying out attacks on the country.
Okay, so having had this metamorphosis of terrorist groups and all that, how do you take care of them? How do you infiltrate them, for instance? We're talking about intelligence gathering.
Yes.
How the security agencies are doing what they're doing, but it's time to go into intelligence. How do we get through to these people? You were talking about the U.S. that fought the Taliban for many years, Al-Qaeda, and it took them almost over 10 years to get Osama bin Laden. So how do we...
Sometimes, getting intelligence, when we talk about intelligence, getting intelligence on this is a very difficult task. When nation states interact, and then intelligence organizations talk with elites from other countries, finding out exactly how things are, is different. In this issue of terrorism, we are dealing with a group that is a shadowy organization. And then how do you go a step ahead of them? The fact is that the most important thing for us is to be adaptable and to look beyond what we have seen now. That's what the United States is also doing. So they might have experienced a lot of these things that we're talking about, but also they are still in a learning process. You still have to continue, because you cannot say that you've contained everything about terrorism.
Would preempting the
we have to look at the worst case scenarios and see and plan ahead of it. You see, you cannot just, Also, when we talk about these institutions about security, even as individuals of a country, we have to be security conscious.
Are we doing enough of that?
As Nigerians, sometimes we don't even bother. But we are in this sort of tuned off situation. You go into a particular place, you don't even look around to see what is there. You have a focused awareness, where you know that you're moving into a place. As you're driving a car in a pothole, in a street with a lot of potholes, you are careful, you're navigating, you're looking around the car, the driver in front of you, being aware of your environment and all that. These are issues that will be, by the awareness program the government will carry on, that people will know about. It's not only left to the institutions alone.